If I'm fixing it, I'm filming it. Well, welcome to part 3 of my working on batteries. In part 1, I show you how to put a charge on your battery. Part 2, I show you how to boost your battery, aka jump start it. Now, you're here because those aren't working. Sorry to say. So we're going to have to replace this battery. I'm going to show you how to remove it. Most battery terminals are an 8mm. So make sure you get an 8mm, and that'll be for your side. Your top can be depending on whatever top posts are. But I just have one here, and that's just for a positive connection, but I will have to remove that, and then I can show you how to remove your side terminals. Sometimes you have a brace in the way. In this case, I have to remove a brace. So that's a 10mm in my example. And then I'll show you how to actually remove the one screw that holds this whole battery in position. So let's get underway. Let's remove this top post clamp. Okay, so let's get this off. Now remember, when you're working with a battery, make sure this wrench doesn't touch anything, or you're going to have sparks flying and it won't be fun. Sometimes you have to twist it a little bit and then it'll come off. There you go. That is off. So now I just have to get to my side. What I always like to do is unhook the negative first. So let's get our 8mm on here. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. There we go. That's right. There. There might be a tiny little spark while you remove it or while you're loosening it. Don't be scared of that. Just make sure your wrench isn't touching anything. Okay, now that we got the negative off, let's pull off this safety cover off of the positive. Pull that off, and then let's be careful now. You're working with the positive. You don't want your wrench to touch anything. So let's remove it. Okay, there you go. So the positive is off. Well, let's get this cross member out of the way. Each vehicle is going to be different. Heck, I've even seen these batteries underneath the seat in a vehicle. So a lot of different ways to get to your battery. Every vehicle is going to be different. So I got to get rid of this cross member. Loosen this one. I might be able to just swing that out of the way. There we go. Now, the next part is to get down to a bolt. And if you look down at the battery, you will actually see a bolt. 12mm, 13mm, could be a whole bunch of different things, but that's just one bolt that's holding the whole battery down in most vehicles today. So we're going to have to remove that. So let's remove that bolt. Usually probably need an extension. Hopefully maybe you can get your hand in there and lift the bolt out with the socket, and there you go. And here's that wedge. So basically this just kind of goes into your battery and kind of locks it into place. So when we pull this battery out, we got to actually move it ahead a little bit, and then we can come straight up. Because it's on this side, it's in a groove, and this is what prevents this battery from moving around. Now, batteries are not light, so be prepared. If you need, have someone help you lift it out. As soon as you kind of lift it up, maybe get their hand underneath it. Don't drop it on their hand, but batteries are not light. Just giving you a heads up. So let's pull it ahead. Now straight up. Now, this is the time, if this was all full of whitish corrosion stuff, battery acid, well, it'd be a good time to take some of that baking soda, sprinkle it on here, and then throw some water and let it soak up and get it nice and clean. This looks pretty clean here. I'm pretty lucky. But you can see where your battery hooks on in here. Kind of got a lip, and then this is what goes down in there, holds it, and that's what holds your battery from moving around. Okay, let's go examine this battery. Okay, so we got the battery out. Let's clean this up. And right here, this is what you want to look for when you get a replacement battery. Mine is an 800 cold cranking amp. Some batteries are 650, 500. But when you go to some place, make sure you're getting the same CCA, cold cranking amps, or try to get something more powerful. Especially when it's very cold, minus 30, minus 40, you want a really good battery. So again, this is a dual post battery. I got the top post and the side terminals. Yours just might be the side terminals or the top posts. Even better is when you do go and buy a battery, this old battery is worth money. It's worth $10, $15, $20 depending on who you're getting your new battery from. So if you can, since you're getting a battery, take this old one with you. That way you get your core charge. That's what it's called. It's a core charge. Take this old battery with you. That way you can get your core charge right away off of your new battery. So you'll save $20, $30. If not, well then you're going to have to make a special trip back to that store just to return your battery. So if you can, take your old battery with you. Saves you a trip. To take your old battery is, you want to make sure you're going to get the same battery that's got the same width, same height, same depth. So it's good to have it with you because someone might be a little green behind the counter and give you too big of a battery. And now it won't fit in your car. Now you're going to make a special trip back to the store to get the proper one. So it's always best to try to take your old battery with you for several reasons. You get the right cold cranking amp, and you also get the right dimensions. And also you might forget, geez, did I have a side terminal one or did I have a top post one? I can't remember. So yeah, best take it with you. Okay, so let's go put the new battery in the vehicle. Okay, so in this case, I actually have a battery insulator. So you want to remove that because you want to put that on your new battery. Okay, I've got my new battery. Make sure everything's out of the way, the posts and everything, so I could... Let's pop it in. Be mindful of your cables. So I've got it in, now I got to slide it back. There, and you'll know you've kind of locked it in places if you cannot. Yeah, I'm trying to lift the battery like this and it's not lifting because you know it's locked into place. Okay, great. So let's get this back down in there. Get this bolt. And always try to start a screw, bolt, whatever by hand. There you go. I think I've got it. Feels pretty good. And let's get this tightened down. Okay, it's tight. Make sure you've got it properly. Your battery should not move. There you go. I got it good and proper. There. Let's get the positive post on. Again, making sure your wrench doesn't touch anything. Good and tight. Okay, let's put your little cover on it. Now let's put the negative on. And again, you might see a little spark just because your vehicle is a little energized, meaning like your time in your radio. It's going to want to draw a little juice. So don't be scared, but try to get it on. And I can hear some clicking and get it good and tight. And there we go. Okay, let's get this cross member back on here now. Battery's in, everything's nice and tight. I'll tighten this here first. There. Okay, let's get my, again, this is optional. You might not have to do this, but I do have one little connector I have to put on my top post. And top posts are kind of angled a little bit, so you push and you turn. Don't turn too much, but just enough to help push it down. And let's get that tight. Again, making sure my wrench is not touching anything other than the bolt. Okay, looks like we are done. What you want to do now is go to your vehicle and start it up. Another little trick is if you have a white paint pen or a red, whatever can show up on the black, write down when you got your battery. Brand new, October 19th. 2014. So this is getting to be an old battery, but it's still working good for my truck. There you go. I've shown you how to replace your battery in your vehicle. It's not that hard. Just go slow, be careful not to short anything out, and geez, it's a fairly easy job. Well, this is the last video of my part 3 segment of batteries. I will put in the comments a link to part 1, which is charging your battery, and I'll put a link for part 2, that is boosting your battery, and then this is part 3, replacing your battery. So I hope you have found some wisdom and you're not scared to do your simple battery replacement. Very easy. I think the hardest thing is lifting the battery in and out. So good luck on your repair.